just like clockwork, now that the Acolyte is out, you got to get the Shill media attacking the fans. It doesn't seem to be, let's wait and say, well, no, they got to do it because that's what's going on. Now, I'm watching the Acolyte. You all voted and wanted me to review the Acolyte, so I'm watching every episode and I'm going to do my reviews for it. Not a problem there. But again, as I say, the minute you have a problem with anything, the minute you have legitimate concern with how literally horrible it is, no, you've got to find the detractors coming out to say, oh no, I just want to have a problem with everything and bunch of haters and all kind of nonsense, because you're just supposed to shut up and consume. It mustn't be good. No. Shut your mouth and consume the garbage. And who better to lead the charge attacking everybody than the Mary Sue? Let's get into this, people. Racist Star Wars fans can't handle the Acolyte creator speaking the truth. And who is making this article? Who is saying these words? Rachel Leishman. Everybody's favorite pain in the neck. I tell it, every article this woman writes is the same thing. Literal, the same thing. Nothing original. Blame straight white men, call people racist, call them homophobes, tell them, oh, they don't know anything, claim to be a fan of something, and yet she cannot even actually give any actual information about anything. No. This is why nobody reads the Mary Sue. I probably look at it more than anybody else, is to find stupid articles like this to rip apart. Let's get into this, people. A woman talking about gross Star Wars fans. Oh boy, here come the reply, guys. The Acolyte creator Leslie Headland was talking to the New York Times and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy when they began talking about the dark side of Star Wars fandom. Okay, let's take a moment here. We have Leslie Headland, former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein, a woman who has openly admitted that she's making the Acolyte to push her queer dream of Star Wars being queer something or another, because when she was a queer child, she didn't have this and she was queer and queer and queer and queer, because that's what Star Wars was supposed to be about. And then we have Kathleen Kennedy, who has ruined everything she's touched, and yet they can't get rid of her. Not that they won't, they can't get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, because she had to have more blackmail material on anybody than anybody, honestly. But no, these are the people whom we should all listen to, because yeah, they are ruining anything at all. Right, Kennedy was talking about the male-dominated fan base, to which I will say it isn't really male-dominated. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Rachel, but Star Wars was always a male-dominated franchise. Yes, there are women who liked it, there are women who love it before it turned to crap on Kathleen Kennedy and the rest of them. But that's what it is, a male-dominated franchise. That's just the long and short of it. Continues on. They're just the ones who sit online and complain about women and are loud. You mean opposed to you who sit online and complain about men and are loud? Okay, fine. But Kennedy was talking about the sexist and racist attacks stars have faced in the past. Yeah, let's dig into this as she puts it. Daisy Ridley was bullied off social media. Says who? Daisy Ridley wasn't bullied off social media. Her character Rey was horrible. People said so. That's all. Kelly Marie Tran was relentlessly attacked. She wasn't. She was just a horrible character. That's all. John Boyega faced racist remarks. No, he did not. No, he did not. There was no racist remarks levied against John Boyega. People had a problem with what they did to Finn in the movie. Nothing about any racial remarks. And more recently, Star Wars had to come out and defend both Moses Ingram and the High Republic show host Christina Ariel against the racist attacks they were receiving online. When it comes to Moses Ingram, I've asked this question many times and nobody can actually tell me anything. Where are these racist remarks? Somebody show them to me. Because I checked You understand me? I literally checked and I could not find any. I found plenty of people saying her character was garbage, which it was, but I could not find a single solitary individual who made any kind of racist remarks. None. None. Now when you talk about John Boyega and this thing, the whole thing behind Finn, when they brought back the Star Wars, the whole thing about Finn is that Finn was a stormtrooper in the First Order who became disillusioned with what they were doing and he defected. That was a good story. They were even hinting at the fact, well, he may have some kind of force powers and he might be a Jedi or something like that. That was a story people were really interested in. No, instead you just threw him to the wayside, had Daisy Ridley's Rey come in, and then suddenly she was the bestest ever. She could pick up a lightsaber, swing it like a club, and she was suddenly so good and all of this nonsense. Yeah, you made her into, well, a Mary Sue. And that's what people had a problem with. You wasted Finn as a character. Now, keep in mind, I only watched the first movie that they were in, and part of the second one, and then I was done. I was like, nah, this is garbage. I can't do this. The first movie was bad enough for it. The second one, like I say, part of it, and I was done. But this is what happened. This is what people had a problem with. No, nobody wasn't racist or sexist. Stating that you don't like something and giving actual reasons as to why you don't like it doesn't make you racist and sexist. But they throw out these words there to defend against everything, and people jump on board and say, well, okay, that's what's going on. No. But nobody cares about that. Let's continue on. It has been a thing in this fan base fueled by angry men behind their keyboards who rarely show their actual faces online. Okay, let me just say this, yeah. I have a faceless YouTube channel because I believe it's more about the material that I am talking about than me. That's it. I'm afraid that anybody, like I say, anybody comes to say anything to me in the comments, I respond. I am always respectful. I'm always courteous. That is me. I have no problem answering any questions. None whatsoever. You meet me in public, you want to say something to me cordially, I will have a conversation with you. They are pushed to do so by their own bigotry and hatred. Every article this woman writes, and it doesn't really make sense that so-called fans of Star Wars have it in their hearts. The entire franchise is about fighting against the oppressors, and yet here we are. Except the Acolyte, as they have come out and stated, is about the Sith and the underdogs fighting the institution that is the Jedi. So you're literally making a show about how, evil is good. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, but no, you're talking about it don't make sense for Star Wars fans to have it in their hearts. The very people you are trying to defend have it in their hearts. What does that say? Want to talk about how Headland talk about she recognizes that fans are going to be upset and all kind of thing, and she says that I covered this before. She said that I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear: anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. And she then Rachel is not going to say, and the replies from so-called fans are as expected. And yet, Leslie Henry talking about bigotry, racism, or hate speech, but cannot point to a single solitary instance of bigotry, racism, or hate speech. None. Because it does not exist. You're making it up to use it as a shield to defend your horrible show. That's it. Goes on. You think saying, hey, if you're a racist or sexist, you aren't a Star Wars fan, you're a fan of Star Wars in my eyes, wouldn't be a controversial statement, and yet the replies to this are horrid. So you're basically trying to say that, you must go out there and call people racist and sexist, and they're supposed to leave it. That's it. They're supposed to leave it. But God forbid anybody says anything to you, no, you're ready to attack them. So why is it that people must not speak up when you're basically attacking them for having an opinion, but nobody mustn't tell you anything? That's wrong. So you must be allowed to do whatever you want, and everybody is supposed to just shut up and go along with it. Go on the double standards on these people. One reply said, ironically, this is bigoted, racist hate speech against fans. Make that make sense. You can't. And that's true. That's true. You're out there calling fans bigots and racist and sexist and all that is what you're doing. You understand me? Nobody's calling you that, nobody's saying anything against it, but no. When somebody goes and says, that is the very thing that you're doing, no, that's a problem, because you must be allowed to do whatever the hell you want. That's what it is. You must be allowed to do whatever the hell you want. The reality is that people just want to hate and scream when they're not watching a story where they listen to, they say, a white straight man at the center of it. I just want to ask a question, Rachel Leachman. Why do you have a problem with white straight men? Why? What has any white straight man ever actually done to you? Because every article that she writes, she always has to talk about some hatred about white straight men. Why? What has anybody ever done to you? But no, this is what she continues to do. She goes on. They cite their love of Princess Leia as a reason they aren't sexist, or their love of Lando as an excuse for racism. But when they complain about characters like Rey or Finn existing in the franchise, why? Because they don't have a white man to see themselves in, so they feel they need to be gross about it. As I've said before, Rey, horrible character. Nothing against Daisy Ridley, lovely woman, never heard anything about her, never met her in the lifetime, nothing against her. Her character of Rey is horrible. Absolutely horrible. There's no denying that there are many instances as to why Rey is a horrible character. What they did to Finn, terrible. Set up a character to be so interesting and just flushed it down the toilet. Flushed it a little bit, and people saying things like that are not being racist or sexist. Why do people like Princess Leia? Because she had an actual identity to her. That's why. Was she perfect? No. They talk about it had Lando and that's the girl. Yes, it had Lando. People like Lando. You know who else people like? Mace Windu. Nobody had anything to say against Mace Windu. He was a badass Jedi and he was black. Nobody had anything to say against him. Died stupidly, but still, that's what I'm saying. But you say, but no, you must not say anything against anything at all. You'd think that a simple statement of, hey, if you're a racist, you're not really a fan, would be just not that controversial, and yet here we are again. So you must be allowed to attack people, and they're supposed to sit down and say, well, okay, fine. Some of the replies are claiming that by saying this, Headland and Kennedy are trying to stop criticism of the show from happening. That's exactly what they're doing. Sorry if your criticism is about women and POC characters existing in Star Wars, but that's not criticism, that's just bigotry. Nobody is talking about that, but they're the ones. I think about that. Nobody says anything early on about anything about having women, about having people of color, nobody. But no, they come out and say these things, and make these idiotic statements. Or this shows, or these shows should be representative of all people. There are 8 billion people on the planet. We're going to stick 8 billion people into a show. Come on, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said before, there have been all sorts of characters represented all over the time. Star Wars had black characters, had white characters, they had aliens of different races, all kind of thing, and different things all over the galaxy. Right? What does the Acolyte have? Jedi that want to kill themselves, the worst assassin in the history of Star Wars, body positive Jedis, and a story that makes less sense than anything anybody else could have ever come up with. But no, you must sit down and consume, because if you don't, Rachel Leachman is going to come out and accuse you of being a racist. You're the one who keeps mentioning a hatred for straight white men, Rachel Leachman. Perhaps you should take a look at yourself before you accuse other people of being a racist. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.